Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of the Sonic Board podcast. I'm your host, DeoxysPrime, and joining me on this no apologies edition of the podcast, we have Frank.
Tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down.
We have Matt.
So you guys excited for Pokken Tournament 2?
Oh my gosh.
We have Funk.
I was going to apologize, but I've since been told that this is a no apologies edition of our podcast. So I will just say hello.
And we have the keeper of all Smash lore, Collin.
That was fucking putrid.
Well, Collin, what are you talking about? What is that in this situation?
Well, Funk, the subject of today's podcast is the final Smash Bros. Direct.
Oh my gosh.
And in fact, we could potentially even talk about stuff since E3, because that was the last time we did a podcast, and we talked about the E3 Smash stuff then, but there's been other stuff since then, but yeah, this is the culmination of everything that's supposed to be in this game, and what the fuck was that, Collin?
Well, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, they're actually...
Don't say that!
We have to get through every option on the options menu.
Oh my god.
We have to adjust don't forget to adjust the brightness and check the help menu.
I don't know why they made such a big deal out of it. This could have been 15 minutes. Really. Instead it was 40 minutes. Chock full of just filler bullshit.
Brightness and sound!
I think, okay, they hype up the spirits mode in the previous direct, and they spent so much time on it. I think I asked 3 or 4 times, I said, are they still on spirits right now? This is the most uninteresting shit you could have saved.
Even if you find it interesting, the way that they delivered the information was entirely samey. Like, there was a solid 3-minute span of just what was essentially different event matches. Like, here's a big King K. Rool, here's 3 Isabels, here's 3 Sonics, whatever, all with a different sticker attached to them. So just the least compelling way you could get that across, just stretched out for so long. It's almost as if they had this time block of how long they wanted the direct to be, and then they were like, well, we don't actually have that much content left.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. It was Spirits itself is just event matches mashed together with customs, and not even like the moves part of customs. It's just it's just the statistic part of it.
It's like the stickers in Brawl, essentially.
Which nobody used.
Yeah.
Nobody used those in Brawl or Smash 4.
That in a combination of leveling up your fucking amiibo fighter in Smash 4, which also no one really used.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like anybody here would ever buy an amiibo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that... So, before... This is, I guess, a more minor complaint, so I want to lead off with it before getting into the real meat of why Spirits is completely unexciting and awful. What really got me is that... So, I understand the concept of limited resources when developing a product, but the fact that every spirit is just so stylistically, what's the word I'm looking for? Dissonant with not only the rest of the game, but the other spirits, because they're just literally ripped images from the source material. So you got Bayonetta characters sitting next to Animal Crossing characters that are next to custom robos. And it's none of this gels well at all. And it's just awful. Because you look at the rest of Smash Brothers, and they pulling from these disparate sources, but it all has its own style, and it all fits. So seeing all this is just ugh. Hated it.
It very much feels like they wanted a mode that incorporated everything from Nintendo, and I think the intentions were right, but also it's just because they had teased this so many months ago, they had to expect that people were going to get their hopes up for something meatier, I guess. Especially because, like, this is, like, I mentioned this while we were watching. This is a series, especially among fighting games, is very well known for having a lot of single-player content. And, you know, they tease the adventure mode at the end, but at the end of the day, like, this feels not any more... Like, it doesn't feel better than what we got in Smash 4, which is kind of disappointing in the single-player content.
Well, Smash 4 didn't have a lot of single-player content, if you remember. Like, in terms of single-player content on the Wii U version, all we really had were, like, the revamped classic mode that they changed up for whatever goddamn reason they decided to do that. And then the Master Orders and the Crazy Orders, which is, like, no one really cared about those.
But it's like, this feels like that, but with a superficial layer on top of it to make it seem like it's bigger than it is. And it probably is lengthier, but only because they jammed all this stupid shit inside of it that just takes up time. But it's not actually interesting or fun to play. Like, this isn't like the adventure mode in Melee or Subspace Emissary in Brawl. Like, they've clearly wanted to cut back on developing that kind of stuff, and that sucks. Because at the end of the day, like, what happened with Smash 4 is, like, we played that for a couple months, but then we kind of stopped. And the other Smash games I played for a while, like that's just, that content was stuff I would go back to and play. But, like, this, it's like, I feel like if I even bother to get this game, it's just gonna die really quick for me.
I mean, I kind of feel the opposite because, like, after I beat Subspace the first time, I literally never touched it ever again.
I mean, can I say something here about Subspace?
Yeah, go for it.
Subspace was never good.
I disagree, but
I think the problem with Subspace wasn't that it was a like a level-based single-player progression thing. It's just Subspace itself was way too long, and B, a lot of the way that it gated and locked characters made it frustrating to play through. So, I don't want to play fucking Diddy Kong or whatever. There's ways to do a mode like that work better than what Subspace than how Subspace worked.
Yeah,
So,
but like the framework was there to do something even better, but they just haven't.
Right.
And what we're getting now is
blowback to
is
Subspace
worse.
and how it was spoiled was like so just it's not worth it for them to do that again, even if it could be executed much better without.
Yeah, but like I think I can't agree with that because like the whole trend in fighting games now is story modes.
Yeah, not that you could do a feasible story mode with this many characters, but you could have a large portion of them remain optional pickups along the way.
Oh, man. I just know the maze at the end of fucking Subspace was goddamn awful.
What they could do is something like, you know what fighting game had a really good story mode? The fucking adventure mode in Soul Calibur 2. And the way that game handled its story, at least in that mode, was a lot of text. A lot of text recounting the story to you. And I realize that sounds like a negative, but it really isn't.
It's a little dated now, especially because they're still doing that with Soul Calibur 6. But
really, like
there's still an attempt there. It just doesn't feel like there's an attempt here with the Spirits mode.
To be fair, with the Spirits mode, yes. With the other mode that has like that overworld thing, something of light. What do they call it?
World of Light. Which actually, I think that looks pretty neat.
I mean,
yeah,
but it's like how many cutscenes like that opening one are we even gonna get?
I think putting the cutscene aside, I think it looks neat. Like I just like
it's
the idea
just an overworld where you go into like the normal Smash stages and have normal Smash battles.
I mean,
I think that's
with
neat.
That.
Because you can have the overworld give you that like sense of progression that a menu otherwise might not, and they showed like a really good variety of different overworlds that had like different ways of interacting with them. Like you had Pokemon Trainer riding around on a Lapras, and he found the stupid fish from Wind Waker. And I was like, that's a neat little thing. Well, and the gameplay of Smash Brothers is good enough that just jumping between smaller Smash battles, like I'm fine with that as long as I have something to pull me through.
The thing is, and like with Smash's actual core mechanics lend itself better to doing other things than just the normal fighting game, because very recently this year I played a game called, and Collin also played it, Dragon Ball FighterZ, which has a story mode kind of similar to this, where you have an overworld and you're moving along the overworld, and then you jump in and you just fight matches. And, you know, the overworld wasn't nearly as interesting as what, like, visually anyways, what this looks like. But at the end of the day, it's like, it gets really fucking repetitive. And there's just nothing really you can do to break it up if you're just doing fighting matches. And, you know, there are, like, with the event modes in past games and the spirits mode in this, there are modes where they're clearly trying to bring some variety to it. But I mean, that stuff, I don't feel like that's going to be this. And even if it was, it's just like, it's still, you're just going to be doing a lot of Smash battles.
You have perhaps a nice eye for presentation. I think shit, you should have just combined Spirits mode, like layered that on top of this. So then at least you have like the weird event matches thrown in to the story mode now with that sense of progression. I don't even know why these things are separate, honestly.
Maybe they'll have
or maybe they aren't separate because they said, aren't you wondering why they're spirits?
I don't think they are.
I wasn't paying attention to anything that was happening in the direct after Incineroar came out. So I don't even know exactly what Spirits is.
Well,
All I know is that
that's
it looks
amazing
really shitty, and I'm probably never going to play it.
That's amazing that they had a direct this long, where they had more than enough time to explain everything properly, and we're still confused about certain things.
Because I think the Spirits mode is the adventure mode. There isn't an option for adventure mode in the menu that they revealed like months ago. So I think the Spirits mode is the single player campaign. And that would make sense because, you know, that would be where like Rathalos is. Like, because like remember they revealed like Rathalos in like the last direct. You know.
So maybe with those event match type like fights, then maybe it'll be more interesting.
But I think the spirits are, you know, what make it out to be like these like event match sort of things. Like, you see like Kirby fighting like Mario or whatever, and he has like a spirit that makes him like turn metal or something like that. And you know, I think those two are interconnected. So
yeah, and like I said, alluded to earlier, they had that bit, but they showed the fish from Wind Waker, and that thing is nothing but a spirit. So it makes sense that they're in there. Let me ask you guys this. How would it positively, or I guess negatively even, but probably positively, affect your assessment of this what is it? What is it of Light?
World of Light.
World of Light, god damn it. Of this World of Light mode, if it's like some of the things you could jump into aside from Smash battles were like break the targets, board the platforms, the little mini games.
I would legitimately be thrilled if they had brought board the platforms back, but I'm pretty sure they would have mentioned that.
At that point, it's just recycling stuff they've already done.
If they felt the need to mention the brightness settings, they would have mentioned board the fucking platforms.
Did they mention stuff like sandbag and targets?
No,
they
haven't. They didn't say anything about a sandbag, or I mean, I guess he's in training mode.
They mentioned sandbag.
They showed multi-man smash and stuff like that. So
okay,
but like, I mean, again, that's stuff that's been done like 4 times already. So
yeah.
But when you think like they're making it's the ultimate Smash Brothers game. Like bringing back modes is in line with that.
Yeah, but like
quotes around ultimate.
Listen. We've already got a direct contradiction, literally at the start of this friggin' showcase, that this was perfectly tailored to like bringing everything back or like catering to all the fans' votes.
Yeah, I mean, I no longer feel like this is the ultimate version of Smash Brothers, like just from this direct. Like, this fucked a lot of that up. Like, I was so sure Incineroar was not in the game just because of the MO of this game, which is supposed to be the ultimate version of Smash Brothers, and for a lot of the characters that they revealed so far, whereas it was very clear that, hey, we're just gonna put in the shit that people actually want.
Yeah, but, I mean, how do they blow their hype reveals, like, earlier in the year, and then end on fucking Cannon and Incineroar? It just doesn't make any sense.
That is bad, but it's also, like, you have to consider that, like, what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago when they were finalizing the roster of who they wanted? that he would have to say, okay, I already know a lot of what the characters people want. And I also, because we're bringing everyone back, we have a limited number of new characters we can add. So I'm going to waste one of those slots on a character who isn't even out yet, and I have no idea if people will even like it or not, which it turns out a lot of people fucking don't.
And that's what stings so much, despite everything else you could say about Incineroar, is that back in 2015, everyone was voting on who they wanted in Smash Brothers, and at that exact same time, they made the decision to put in Incineroar. And people say, oh, slots don't exist. Stop complaining about slots. They have a limited amount of time to develop characters for the base roster. And there is a point where they reach where they say, hey, we don't have time to work on every single character that we put on the table. Like, they're probably put on like dozens of characters that they think about. And they decided, let's do Incineroar, this character that no one has had a say in whether or not they liked it or not yet. That's awful.
And that made a lot, like, that kind of decision making made sense if you're thinking the game in terms of the other Smash Brothers games where they were used a lot as a promotional tool for other series. Like, it made sense to have certain characters in here who are going to represent certain franchises or represent certain upcoming or recently released games. I could have understood Incineroar a lot more if this was like Smash 4. But it's not. It was very much like, okay, let's put in the characters people want. We have the data of what characters people want. And yeah, we're going to put in things like the Inklings from new series that we already know are popular. But let's also just include this Pokemon just for the sake of it. Like, that's
when we have
sucks.
9 Pokemon already.
Yes. And especially because you looked at it as like, other than Daisy, there was no new Mario character until today. There was no new Zelda character. Like, a lot of their franchises, there's no new Fire Emblem character. Like, a lot of the franchises that are already well represented were not getting new characters. So why give Pokemon one? It just doesn't make any sense.
But what's more is that Incineroar doesn't even promote anything anymore.
Incineroar is 2 years old at this point.
Yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are out. The next game is coming out in a year.
Should he have just put in Eevee?
He would not have known at that point that they were making the game, very likely.
Yeah, but
Eevee would have made more sense.
You think about Lucario. Lucario was in Brawl in 2008. 2008, at the end of 2008, Platinum was getting released in Japan. It was getting released next year in the States, and Gen 4 would still be going until 2010.
So that's getting out in front of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where this is
and I'm not a huge fan of Lucario either. In fact, if
you're not a huge fan of him, it sounds like you're just not a fan of him at all.
I'm not a fan of him at all. That's true.
All right.
I think Lucario's design is demonstrably worse than Incineroar's, and I am no fan of Incineroar's design either.
Is Lucario's nose reasonable?
No, it is not. His nose is a nose and not a muzzle. And that's why it is unreasonable, because his mouth is located below his giant nose.
Oh my god.
But we all understood why Lucario was there, and it made sense.
Yeah.
This
is
not
Yelk can masturbate to it.
Well, shit. Well, you have Incineroar now.
Anyway.
Well, can we just talk about the fact that, like, there was only 2 fucking characters left?
Yeah, and
why didn't they just reveal them?
I don't know why they didn't have Incineroar earlier.
What was the point of this fucking direct? They could have just they could have just did this. This could have just been a Nintendo Direct. There's no reason for this to be a full Smash Direct.
Yeah, I'm still questioning the ballot right now because he said after King K. Rool was put in the game, right? He said in an interview afterwards, for this game, I looked at the Smash ballot, and then he follows that up with Ken and Incineroar. I
feel like that's a blatant lie.
People who say, oh, you're just entitled. You got all these characters, you got all these stages, you got Ridley and K. Rool and Simon. Okay, all right, but fuck off. This is
And then they turn around and put in a fucking piranha plant. Like,
Look,
there's
okay, we'll get to the piranha
wrong.
plant.
A fucking
okay.
leaf.
Look, I understand that K. Rool was ostensibly the real winner of that ballot. I have to question, though, and I know it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of assets being reused here. And I feel insulted. I'm sorry. I know that sounds stupid, but I feel insulted when they say we used the ballot and then that's just a lie. That's like they didn't use it for the final character. They just put in this promotional character who promotes nothing now.
And not
And a
only on
piranha
top of
plant.
that, but a lot of the characters that most likely were popular in that ballot and who people wanted for this game, they did not get out in front of and deconfirm them. Like, we should have known well before this that Shadow and Isaac were assist trophies. There's no reason to hold back that information other than to get people's hopes up.
I see. I'm not going to say that's like an intentional pull on their part.
I'm not saying that they intentionally wanted to make people feel bad. I'm just saying they fucked up. Big time.
That does show a lack of forethought. And that just sucks. It just stings. Fuck Incineroar. I mean, I'll play Incineroar. I'll probably have fun with Incineroar, but at the same time, fuck Incineroar.
And another character with a counter, by the way.
Yes. Oh my God. Incineroar is another character with a counter.
That was the best part of the whole direct, where you just hear Collin muffled scream, "Another fucking counter!"
I was so pissed. I was so pissed when I saw that. Oh my God. You had 2 years.
Is Incineroar?
So you had 3 years. You had like 3 years, and you're like, I can't think of anything of this fucking thing. That's why you don't pick a character from concept art, damn it.
The thing is that I like the look of some of Incineroar's moveset, like
He looks fun.
that rope move.
He looks like a pretty cool character.
Yeah, well, aside from everything aesthetically about him, but his gameplay, yes. Although unfortunately, I'll never be able to play as Incineroar. Not allowed.
Yeah, because he hasn't played Incineroar's game.
That's right. And as we all know, you cannot play a character in Smash Brothers until you've beaten their game.
At least I can play Migman now.
So is this where we talk about the Grinch leak?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, I mean, so the Grinch leak was, I mean, so I'm not trying to say that I knew better, because I didn't. I believed it. But in retrospect, it's very easy to say that it was, quote, too good to be true.
Especially, Banjo was the one that, like, throws that off a bit. Like,
okay.
Well, it's just like that is way too good to be true. Like, I could see it happening for DLC, totally. But
Right.
Here's
fuck.
Here's the thing. When this first came out, like, the thing is, more and more information came out about this fucking leak that made it seem more and more real. And, like, I don't know who the fuck this madman was who made this. He still, to this day, has not come out.
He's got to be feeling pretty good about himself.
He's got to be feeling pretty fucking good about himself. I hope, like, I want to meet this guy and shake his fucking hand.
Like, you can't even be mad. Like, I'm not mad at all that it was wrong.
This guy broke the internet for fucking, like
a week.
Weeks.
Yeah.
A week. And here's the thing. When you really think about it, things don't line up exactly with the leak. Like, for starters, there's the fact that somebody asked Phil Spencer earlier, I think it was earlier this year.
It was at E3.
Yeah, about, like, Banjo and Smash and stuff. And his manner of speaking when he talked about it made it sound like he really had no idea about it, and that Nintendo never, like, reached out to him about anything. Like, obviously you can fake that, but I don't know. It just felt too genuine to feel like that Banjo would be in the game.
Yeah, because I have no doubts that if Nintendo really wanted Banjo, then Microsoft would agree to it. Like, they'd work out some kind of deal.
They would agree to it in an instant.
But I don't like everyone talks about how, like, they have a decent relationship now. And it's like yeah, sure, Minecraft is on Nintendo Switch and stuff, and like, yeah, they're fine with that. But I don't think like Nintendo is going out of their way to make deals with Microsoft. Like they're like they don't really. A lot of people don't see them as competitors, but they're still kind of competitors.
They still are.
There's still that aspect there, and also I don't think Sakurai really cares about Banjo. Like, to be honest,
probably I can see that. There's also the fact that like the whole thing with Geno, they still can only get Cloud and 2 fucking songs from Final Fantasy for this game. There's no way if they could only
because he had a costume in the last game, so they knew, and they still didn't act on it. It's like some of
they got a costume, but I don't know. I just feel like I guess it is a little too good to be true to be able to get Geno as a full playable character.
I mean, I completely understand not putting in Geno.
I mean, I do too. Because
if you're ever going to think of a character who's popular but doesn't quote deserve to be in, it's Geno. But at the same time, yeah, his fans have been campaigning for like 12 years, and there's no way they didn't know. I mean, they knew about Ridley, they knew about K. Rool, they even knew about Simon.
I like Geno a lot, and I love Super Mario RPG, but I would never think to put Geno in a fucking Smash game. Maybe as an assist trophy, but that's it. I just feel like he's not important enough.
Well, yeah, but I would say the same thing about K. Rool. And once K. Rool's in the game, that threw everything out the window.
Well, K. Rool's a bit more.
He's a thespian.
Listen, Geno has been in one video game. Mm-hmm. He made a cameo in Mario and Luigi, and that's it.
Which was removed
in a remake.
I get it, but if you're talking,
K. Rool was in 3 games, a TV show.
He was in Donkey Kong 64 too.
He was in Donkey Kong 64, and he was in fucking that like Mario baseball game. He hasn't been
relevant in over a decade.
I mean, neither has been fucking.
Neither has fucking Rob the Robot.
Yeah, Rob the Robot.
But okay, those circumstances are different. My point is that like he established that he can put in characters who are popular who are not relevant right now.
Yeah, I mean,
and who are not like retro characters.
Yes.
And then there's Isaac.
Okay, so I know Golden Sun is ostensibly a dead franchise, and I think I'm the only person here who's played those games, right?
No, I've played them.
Okay, I
haven't played the third one, but
I haven't played the third one either. I played the first 2. And as someone who I didn't vote for Isaac or anything like that, but he had a very visible presence on the ballot from what we can tell.
Yeah.
And it is definitely disappointing for his fans for him to show up as an assist trophy in the very last direct. When it seemed like everything was coming up Isaac for a little while. And for some of them, it was that hope that maybe it could please just show interest in a new Golden Sun someday. Just like with K. Rool fans, they wanted K. Rool in Smash so they could get K. Rool back into Donkey Kong Country. And again, that's another thing that just makes Incineroar sting all the more, because you have this character who is designed from the ground up to be discarded within a year.
Incineroar is fucking... Oh my god.
He is diametrically opposed to the entire MO of the game. And people will never forget how much fucking salt this goddamn cat brought.
Oh my god.
Let's just to set the scene. So the direct starts with the trailer, the character trailer. Actually, I think it's sort of Sakurai, but so they show the trailer and it opens up on that wrestling ring, and instantly, as it flashed across all of our screens, we all groaned in succession.
Yeah, I wasn't with you guys, but I was groaning a lot too. I promise. I was like,
oh my god.
It's like you just knew. You knew what was about to happen to you. Happened to the game.
So, who are all the players that were in that leak? It was Mach Rider,
Chorus Kids, Isaac, Geno, Shadow,
you know what?
And
Banjo.
You know what?
Yeah.
Chorus Kids not being in is perfectly fine with me, because that's a fucking stupid pick. And fuck everybody who voted for Chorus Kids. And also, fuck everybody who calls them the fucking Chorus Kids. It's the Glee Club.
That's the Japanese
All right,
name.
man. I'm sorry. I didn't know. coming at me like that?
Not you. It's okay.
Should have been Karate Joe.
They're called the chorus men in Japanese. So.
Oh, are they? Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Sorry.
I thought it was nothing.
Sorry.
They're
Sorry.
men, not kids.
Man. Together now.
So
That's
like
me.
like I said, the idea that the Grinch leak is fake doesn't bother me. On part because I can certainly respect how good of a fake it was. But it's like that it also like represented what I thought this game was going to be, and it's not disappointing that those characters aren't in the game, although it kind of is, but it's more disappointing that this game is turning out not to be what I thought it was. This doesn't feel like the ultimate version of Smash Brothers to me anymore.
No.
It's if any one of those characters from that leak were over Incineroar, I'm pretty sure most people would be content.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the leak was fake, but we got one of them. Even chorus men. I swear, even chorus men or Mock Rider, people would have been happier.
And
Even if it
Incineroar
was just
the
fucking
worst
nice.
possible choice.
Ended on fucking chorus men though. Like chorus men and Mock Rider, like those are not reveals like to put in your final fucking direct and be like, okay, that's it, he's in.
Rock Rider is the weird retro character is a fine one to have as last.
I mean,
Yeah.
we did have the weird character as our last reveal.
Yes. And we were kind of in agreement that was good. Like,
Yeah, you and I,
Yeah.
Funk and I were all about Piranha Plant, just on paper as a part of the roster. Like, I think Piranha Plant is amazing. I think that's hysterical.
I think it's the
I just
stupidest
think-
fucking thing.
I
just
yeah.
think that it's
I
one.
think it's the stupidest fucking thing, and I love it because
I think,
of that.
but see, here's the thing: is that I think, one, DLC, two, DLC being revealed a month prior to release, and it looks mostly complete, and they say, oh yeah, it'll be a few months down the line.
Yeah, it's not coming out till February.
Yeah, it's only temporarily free. And I'm sorry, because I know, it's difficult. It's like it's a nebulous thing to complain about, this whole slots thing. But you knew who people wanted, and you're like, and you knew that you had a limited spot on base, and you knew that even DLC was going to be even tighter, and you're like, Piranha Plant as DLC. If Piranha Plant, look, oh my gosh, wait, okay, here's another thing. If Piranha Plant was the final reveal, was the absolute final reveal for the base roster, I would have been so happy. And I would have been like content if they said, yeah, Incineroar is DLC. I would have accepted that. Honestly.
See,
Really.
I can buy that simply because that would mean like, yeah, it was planned from the start, and that anything else that came along in the meantime that maybe deserved to be in the game more than a Piranha Plant, I can still accept that he's in the game because that's what they originally decided and they stuck with it. But now this is clearly something that came along the way, which is why he's not in the base game, because he's not. I don't believe he's finished yet, like entirely. Like that's just how these things go. But then you turn around and say, okay, yeah, pre-order the season pass and you get a fucking Rex Me costume because he's not going to be a DLC character. Which is,
Well-
they said that without actually saying that. Like, that's what that means.
I wouldn't count him out just yet, just in
I
case
would.
there's a second ballot. But again, the last ballot was fucking rigged. So
They said they had the exact text flash on the screen that said something like, "So you can feel like you're really playing as him
Yeah.
when you wear this
Like
costume."
that was the most insulting thing about this direct to me.
So apparently you have 2 months to get Piranha Plant for free.
Yeah.
What do you have to
The
do?
period.
Register
You have
the
to
game?
you have to purchase and register your game with My Nintendo by January 31st, and you'll get Piranha Plant when it's available.
see, that doesn't sit well with me at all.
Literally every single thing in this direct was a fucking kick in the teeth.
Were you gonna
And
say?
other
Were
places.
you like? Yeah. It seemed like Matt was like hesitating. Where was I kicked today? Because it felt like I was kicked fucking everywhere.
Okay, it was like it was more like getting punched in the teeth while also getting kicked in the nuts. I don't know.
Yeah.
He hesitated again. He was like, "Okay, where was I kicked exactly?"
I'm tired. I'm tired. Okay.
We don't do many morning podcasts.
Yeah, we
Oh,
woke up
man.
early for this. Like,
Yeah, that's all. That's another aspect of it.
Gotta set our watches and synchronize them so we can all be here to
Collin
watch
woke up
ourselves.
especially early for this, right?
Oh,
Unless
I
you're-
wake up. I wake up early regardless, so it's not a
Yeah.
big deal for me.
Unless you're Funk, who stayed up all day for this.
I eschewed a nap that I usually take. So this is really cutting into my schedule.
It's like we all knew that they were going to do DLC anyways. I think we're all generally fine with that. But
the season pass mentality though is just so troublesome to me. Like,
Yeah, I didn't expect that out of this at all. I was
Well,
not
I mean,
expecting the season
so
pass.
I don't mind that because Nintendo has done season passes before, but they typically in the past have given you some idea of what you're going to get. In this, we have nothing other than one character, one stage, music tracks.
Yeah, I mean it's a two-way street. On one hand, it's to buy something sight unseen like that is not at all appealing. And on the other hand, it's like, well, if you had all this information and you can show me some amount of it, why isn't it just in the game?
Yeah, and it's like there's also the aspect of buying the season pass is cheaper than buying them individually. But
Right.
if you buy
That's
them
how they get you.
individually, you don't have to buy the ones you don't want.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I feel
but
like
yeah.
I feel like there's a conditioning going on for the audience here, because you always have, and I hate to I hate to bitch about this, right? But you always see Sakurai saying like, "Oh, I'm working so hard. Everyone's working so hard," right? And I have no doubt that they are, but at the same time, I feel like they say that so that people will be more forgiving when they do things that upset us, like a fucking season pass.
Yeah, and so that's the weird thing. I appreciate that Nintendo is more personal about that stuff than other companies. Just like, here's a press release, the DLC is coming out a week after the game comes out. Like, that stuff really fucking sucks. I guess there's no good way to go about this, but I don't know. I'm still like, I'm fine with paying for DLC. I think the price is a little too much, especially for me living in Canada, where those characters are probably gonna be like $8-9 a piece. But it bums me out more that like we essentially got characters deconfirmed as DLC in this direct, characters that people would want. Like, they could get Gino and Banjo as DLC, like that's still on the table. You're not getting Isaac. We're not getting Shadow.
Not really.
We're not
Dino.
It's in addition to not getting the good news you wanted, this direct also delivered bad news to you.
Yeah.
And that's why it was just so heinous. So heinously bad.
Also, a lot of the fun, like the fucking roster speculation of Smash Brothers is one of the most fun aspect of any new Smash Brothers game, and this also was a letdown to that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, at least, like, it was nice that it culminated in this big Grinch leak thing, but also, like, if you had given us, like, the same amount of characters as the Grinch leak, but just entirely different characters, even if some of those characters weren't ones that people necessarily liked, that's at least something major.
I think 7 might be a bit too much to expect.
They
But
could
yeah,
have at
it's
least
like
given us
Not with Echo Fighters, though. It would have just been 5.
Oh my god, the leak was wrong, but look at this shit, that's so cool. Like, look at these characters. Like, I don't even care that the leak wasn't real.
It's just
Instead, what we were replaced with was worthless. It was just worthless.
like we're a month away from this game, and now I don't even want to buy it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not even sure I'm gonna buy it.
Like
I'm that much on the fence right now.
Like,
I mean, you gotta
it's
wait.
like, oh, everybody, like I understand everybody's here, blah, blah, blah. You get all these characters and everything, but I never play fucking Smash by myself. I honestly don't even like Smash Brothers that much. I liked Melee. I liked Melee.
Make that quote the title of this podcast.
I liked Melee. But, like, Brawl was okay, I guess, as a fun party game. And Smash 4 was fun for about, like, a couple months. And then I just lost all interest in it.
So I kind of get that same feeling too, Matt.
And it's like, and you know, what would have got me for this game is like, oh, maybe they're going to do some really cool single player thing, bring back some stuff from Melee that made it actually like a lot more replayable, and all we get is like a whole bunch of nothing. Spirits mode is just a joke. This adventure mode looks kind of interesting, I guess, but again, it's just I don't know. It's just so.
Wait. Can I just like point out that again, 40 minutes and all we can think of is this nothing spirits mode and then this adventure mode tied to it.
Yeah.
They could have. Oh my god! It's just. What the fuck is Nintendo doing?
The August 8th Direct was 27 minutes. Had 2 major character reveals and 3 echoes. Had mode reveals with Smashdown and then what is it? Squad Strike, right?
The worst part about this is that if they had like the Castlevania reveal being the big one of last Direct and put K. Rool in this one, I would not be feeling this way.
Yeah, like if you took that Direct Collin was talking about and flipped it with this one, we would have been left with a much better feeling about the game.
Yeah, we would. Like, I wouldn't care so much about fucking Incineroar if K. Rool was the last release, but Incineroar and fucking and here's your DLC, bros.
For that reason, the fact that it's the delivery and not necessarily the content, although it is to some extent the content. When you're saying about like, I don't know if I want to buy the game, I think that's just an immediacy thing. Like,
that could just be a recency bias.
But maybe it's also causing me to reevaluate my feelings on the Smash Brothers franchise as a whole.
Right, and that's possible. I'm not saying that I know more about how you feel than you do. It's just, give it like a week or so before you're just. I'm off it. I'm done with Smash Brothers. I'm not buying
I don't like this year has been a really not great year for games in general. And I don't know. Like maybe it is a immediacy thing, but right now I'm just like I just don't.
Like I kind of had that feeling of Smash 4. Like I really like Smash 4. I think that's a genuinely great game. But it was like I played it online with you guys for a couple months and it was we had good times with it, but also it's like that it didn't really scratch the itch that I had formed with the previous Smash Brothers games. Like a lot of my enjoyment of Smash Brothers came from playing with like my friends in the same room on the same screen. And like you can still do that with this game, but like I don't really have those friends anymore, so I can't really do that. But like that was a lot of the enjoyment I got out of those games. And like playing online doesn't really replicate that the same. Like
no, I agree. But when I buy a game, if I'm able to get like a solid month or two of playing it online with friends, it's not how much I played or how long I played Melee, but I'll take it. That's a fine amount of value.
I mean, as someone who still hasn't bought the fucking $20 Nintendo Online.
That's the other thing. You have to get Nintendo Online for this shit.
This game is $105 for me. And I see. I'm like, I've got friends who want me to get this game. So I'll probably be getting it regardless, probably on day one.
2017 was so good for Nintendo, and now they're just shitting the fucking bed. Like everything that Nintendo has done this year has just been a massive fucking disappointment, except for maybe like I liked Kirby Star Allies a lot, but
yeah,
like,
and again.
WarioWare Gold was good, but that's like the only 2 games that came out this year that I like really liked that were like Nintendo games.
Yeah. Putting aside any recency bias on like whether or not just like this like the DLC or Incineroar has like informed in our opinion right now about the game, you have to just wonder, Nintendo's had very few eggs in their basket this year. And everything's been riding on Smash, and Pokemon's just been getting worse and worse with every single Masuda interview.
Hey, you want to know another shitty? You want to know another shitty thing that just came out off that game? You can't play it with the Pro Controller.
Why?
No.
Because you have to use motion controls. Even though the Pro Controller has motion controls, it still won't let you use it.
For what?
That's classic Game Freak.
Anyway, for the Pokemon game.
So you're just left kind of wondering, why did they choose to do this way?
You know what's really sad? Fucking Kirby Star Allies had better reveals for its game than Smash ultimately did.
Yeah, for the DLC characters.
For the DLC
totally
characters.
Right.
And they're free.
And they're free.
And they're free.
Well, I can say that I will always remember the Ridley and K. Rool reveals very fondly.
I mean,
Ridley,
those were really
Ridley was a
good.
character I had basically given up on, and I don't want to say that, oh, well, having given up on Ridley made the reveal even better. I can't even imagine if you were some of the person who held out hope the entire time that you knew that you really felt that this was going to be Ridley's time.
I
and
really
you saw him get revealed. That would have been that's incredible, and I think it's incredible that they put in Ridley and that they brought back K. Rool, and I think it's really cool that they acknowledged Castlevania as like this mainstay franchise, or not like this mainstay, or like this iconic classic Nintendo franchise that's not made by them. And I think I think all that stuff's really cool, but at the same time, damn, we knew that there was more, and I know that sounds greedy, right? But there was stuff in here that could have been something else.
They got our hopes up. Like, it's weird from my perspective, because I already got my dream character. Like, Rosalina was the one character I wanted, and it's like, I got my character, it doesn't really matter who else they put in the game.
Same. I had no horse in this race anymore.
But it still bummed me out a lot, so...
Yeah, I just think about all these guys who have been talking about Smash online for years.
What will get me much more, like the one thing about this that I really hope for, that maybe will happen, maybe not, I don't know. Like, if Doom Guy gets in as a DLC character, I will forgive them for I will forgive them for this. I will officially forgive them for this.
You definitely have to vote Doom Guy in. I don't think you can get it any other way. And again, the last ballot. That's
probably my dream character to be in the game. But it's, God, the fucking ballot was absolutely worthless then.
Okay, look, the ballot basically brought King K. Rool back. Ridley didn't need the ballot. I'm positive Ridley is not really a ballot character. Yeah,
they knew all the way back to Brawl. They knew.
Yeah. In fact, Ridley's ballot presence probably took a major hit from the fact that he got blown the fuck out twice and personally shot down by Sakurai in interviews twice. And then you have Simon. Simon is a character who had a very consistent following, but he didn't make a huge splash in the ballot because of Konami at the time. And also, Snake and Bomberman were also eating up votes for Konami.
And also, like, Castlevania wasn't really a relevant franchise.
It still kind of isn't. Like,
yeah.
Castlevania hasn't been relevant.
It's making a comeback, but yeah.
And so really, you only have K. Rool as the true ballot winner entering the game. But man, he couldn't have just run away with it. There had to be some other people that you could see there was a major push for over the years. People weren't just voting, they were providing real arguments for their characters too, and showing like just how passionate they were about how much they loved some of these characters, and just dashed.
Oh my god.
I guess you have Daisy, Dark Samus, and Chrom as your other ballot characters.
I really love the fact that one of the big arguments against Bandana D was that he was just a generic mook. He was just a Goomba. And then they reveal fucking Piranha Plant.
I actually would have felt a lot better about Bandana D instead of Piranha Plant.
No, honest, you know what? I'm perfectly happy that Bandana D is not in the game.
Also, like, it pisses me off because it also recognizes PD Piranha, who is the worst Mario character.
There is
ever.
literally nothing wrong with PD Piranha.
PD Piranha fucking sucks.
There's nothing wrong with PD Piranha.
His design is awful.
I will not stand for this hate against PD Piranha.
PD Piranha is like an inflation fetishist thing. Like you encounter him in that first level of Mario 64, you like gorge him with water until his belly button pops.
Sunshine.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Then they put him in everything.
What did I
and
say?
it's like the worst part is like in fucking Double Dash, if you play as PD Piranha, he's so big he blocks your view of the track.
Oh man. I mean,
I mentioned his partner is fucking King Boo for some reason.
King Boo. Oh my god.
Nobody likes PD Piranha, but they do like Piranha Plant.
Yeah.
I like Piranha Plant.
Yeah, I want to know, and I think it's like it's hollow, but does his pipe have a bottom to it? Like, what do you see down there?
I think so.
Doesn't like feet come out of it, like plant feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got feet.
Gross.
Oh God.
What do you think the Piranha Plant's feet smell like, Funk?
That'd be really weird.
Oh man.
Do you think he could pause and take a picture of them?
That's enough. That is more than enough.
Oh man.
I think we can be all in agreement about one thing, and that's fuck DL.
Yeah.
Fuck the fucking bandwagon shitter. DL.
He was just contrarian.
Steve Bandwagoner.
Okay, Minecraft Steve not being in the game is also a plus. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
At least Verge Ben was not completely right.
So I I get what the Steve meme has become. I'm not even all that opposed to Minecraft being in the game, whether it's just in assist trophies or a reference or even a character. Like, I don't even care. Like, that's fine. Not the stupid smug model shitter Steve that's been floating around.
What if they put John Fortnite in the game? How would you feel about that?
John Fortnite? Do you think
Yeah.
he could have like Chen Fortnite as an Echo Fighter? That's the thing. Like, I don't care. Smash Brothers is a game for children, and children like Minecraft and they like Fortnite. It doesn't. I don't care if you put in a character that's popular with the kids. That's fine. It's honestly fine with me. Like, if we got John Fortnite instead of Doom Guy, I would be whatever. Kids, they don't know Doom. They don't know Doom Guy. They don't know what a cyber demon is.
Do they know to shoot it until it dies?
They just want to thank the battle bus driver.
I mean, they don't know what fucking Castlevania is either.
They don't. And I'm not saying that that's a reason things shouldn't be in the game, just that to cater to kids with characters that they know is something that I'm completely fine with. So I wouldn't have complained if Steve had made it in, or if he does make it in his DLC.
I mean, it's more that, like, and I realize that with stuff like Wii Fit Trainer and Mr. Game & Watch, like, they can make characters out of non-characters, but also, like, Minecraft Steve is such a non-character.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't know. It's like, the thing is, I think there's actually potential with a Minecraft character to have like a building mechanic.
Bringing Steve into Smash Brothers Ultimate would be like bringing the default model for fucking. It would be like bringing the default model from Skyrim as like a character in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a character that does not have a lot of character. I think that there's potential to make a unique character as far as gameplay goes.
I mean, there always is. So
yeah, well, I mean,
oh yeah,
you say that, but then it's like, well, we get Incineroar, who's got a counter, and he's just another fighter character, and he has his counter move and whatever. It's like a lot of characters play the same, and that's fine, but to do something like really, really unique is interesting to me. Like Collin and I, maybe a couple weeks ago, we were kicking around like potential other Street Fighter characters that could be in, if not Ken. And I was talking about like Dalsim or the fucking what is his name? The green guy with the orange hair. Blanca. Yeah, and Collin just like shrieks at me. He's like, "They have to be unique fighters." I was like, "Yeah, I mean that'd be better than just putting in Chun-Li, who's not really gonna play all that unique from anyone else." So I don't know. I'm kind of biased.
I want you to know that like when I said that is exactly how I said it. Like that's not even a joke.
Yeah,
I actually said it like they have to be unique fighters.
I'm not strawmanning Collin or anything.
No, that's actually
God.
Like no joke. I put on that voice.
So I'm looking at Piranha Plant's reveal trailer again, and like if you look at the font that they use when it says like piranha plant pipes up or whatever the fuck. Like it doesn't look real. Like it looks like a fake image that someone just made up. And if someone like showed this to me, I would be like, that's clearly fake. Like there's
nice fake leak, bro.
Like it literally does not look real. Like
oh my god.
Down to the background being like a generic like, Super Mario Brothers, like
Right.
it looks fake.
How do we save Smash Brothers?
Like give people what they want. Like
Yeah, I think if, and I recognize the problems with its business model, but if the DLC delivers in content, I think that would do it right there.
But then the game isn't like officially finished until what was it, like February 2020?
Yeah, I know.
They have a lot of mistakes to cover with 5 characters.
But they could do it. Like if they put in Banjo, they put in Skull Kid, they put in some retro character.
so I guess they would be doing one every 2 months is how they would handle it. Because the first DLC character who's not in the Fighter Pass is coming in that February, and then I guess they would be doing one every other month.
I fucking hate what video games have become, where we announce downloadable content before the game is even released.
Yeah, I hate that atmosphere.
This is the gayest fucking thing.
Well, to be fair, like I hate that, and I agree with you, but it's pretty clear that the reason why that's in this direct is just so that they can say, well, here's all our fighters. You're probably angry about something, so there's more coming.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm still fucking
it's
angry.
Damage control.
I think the lesson to be learned from all of this, which will not be learned and will never be learned, is that sometimes fans know what they want.
Yeah, and it's not always the case.
The other lesson to learn is never believe a
Yes.
leak ever again.
I often think it's not the case that fans don't know what they want or they want the wrong things.
Oh no!
That's why I like getting a developer's vision of what their game should be.
Just look at the
And
fucking
judging it on
the fucking like Zelda fan base, and you can see a ton of people who have no idea what they want.
But also, this is a fighting game. The artistic vision isn't necessarily in what characters you pick. It's like you want to pick things that people like to play because then they will keep playing your game.
Right. I don't know. People are dumb with broken clocks, etc.
Shadow never, bros.
Shadow actually never, bros.
This was his one and only chance.
Yeah.
They reveal the assist trophy list, and Skull Kid is on that list as well. So if anyone who is, not blown the fuck out by the moon being an assist trophy, like, oh, Skull Kid should still be in the game. Like, he's still an assist trophy. And they haven't showed him in a direct,
But then what is, so not in like a salty way, but just in a legitimately curious way. What is the point of Skull Kid as an assist trophy if it's not just him summoning the moon? Like, what else is he gonna do?
He warps characters around or something like that. I forget what he actually does.
He doesn't even do that in Majora's Mask. He doesn't do anything but call the moon.
Yeah, he's been an assist trophy for a while, but that's pretty much what he does, I think. Someone back me up on that as to what the fuck the Skull Kid assist trophy actually does. I don't play with assist trophies on.
I don't know.
Hardcore.
I don't play with assist trophies on.
He can either flip the camera upside down, he can reverse all directional inputs for all players, so left is right and up is down, or he can turn all fighters invisible.
Well, at least one of those has basis in the game. I don't know.
Hey, Chain Chomp is back. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know that there's no reason to expect this as far as precedent is concerned, but I'm curious if they'll break that notion that just because something's an assist trophy, it cannot become a DLC fighter.
Well, they've made something an assist trophy a fighter in a later game, because Isabelle was an assist trophy in Smash 4, and then she went on to become an actual fighter in this game, and So like there's precedent for assist trophies becoming fighters, just not an assist trophy being in the game becoming an actual fighter.
It just doesn't make sense because like if you're planning this game in advance, like you're not necessarily starting development on the DLC characters at that point, but you would map out characters you potentially want as DLC. Right. So then why would you put in the effort to make them assist trophies if you're just going to turn around and also put the effort into making them characters?
Right. It's like people who are hopeful about Waluigi. It's like, give up.
Nothing's really organic anymore. They absolutely do have the DLC plans mapped out from the start.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't feel.
It's like, hey, don't expect too many newcomers, but we also plan this space out like with the DLC in mind.
And so that to me is the question: is what would you rather have? Would you rather have the game as it is, where they brought back all the old characters that were cut, or would you rather have those characters still be cut and just have more newcomers?
The latter.
The latter, definitely.
I would have mostly the latter, but I would like to keep Snake coming back, because then he at least still keeps the door open for Simon.
Yeah, like if the only character they had brought back was Ice Climbers, I mean, we would all accept that makes a lot of sense because they should have never been cut in the first place. Bringing back some characters is fine. It's just like a lot of, and I sort of realize this, but a lot of what makes every new Smash Brothers game interesting to me is all the new characters, and even if they're characters from franchises I don't really like, or even if I don't really play them a lot, like just having that variety and the refresh of a new roster is interesting and fun, and this game kind of lacks that. I'm sure there's one person in the world who's happy they put Pichu back in the game, but how many people are actually going to play as fucking Pichu, unironically, for more than a couple games?
Hey man, it was really hard to bring Young Link back. Hey, 6 newcomers.
It's yeah, I mean, when I look at the roster, it's so by putting in more newcomers, not only do you have more newcomers, but you have more access to different kinds of stages and items and stuff, because you're able to, assuming it's from a new series, harness or kind of harvest that for all it's worth. You know, like let's say you put in an ARMS character, just a random franchise. Well, then you have all these ARMS items and ARMS stages and ARMS music that is going to come along with it, and it adds a whole lot more content to the game. Whereas you re-add Young Link or you re-add Mewtwo. I know Mewtwo is DLC in 4, but it's like, well, what else do you really get from that? You don't get anything. It's just the same stuff that you've already had. So, and I understand that a lot of new characters wouldn't necessarily be from distinct IPs, but still.
So, Steve.
Yes, Collin.
Is it a port?
No.
It's confirmed that it's on a port. Like
it's definitely not a port, but
you can't say this is a port.
No.
It's still I wouldn't call it a port, but it does feel like a half effort. Like
this
is a game where you cut corners to get it out as quick as possible, whereas normally it would take more time between a Smash Brothers game.
This feels now that the full roster is revealed, like the subtitle Ultimate feels less like an actual like Ultimate and more just like, what's the subtitle? Ultimate, whatever.
Yeah, the Japanese title was special, and I think that fits a little more. But like,
why? Because it's retarded.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Applause, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You got applause. Good joke.
You know, I think my tone accurately communicated how even I felt about that joke.
But before we go, I think we should pour one out for Omega, who couldn't be with us. And I think he took this the hardest of any of us.
Rip Omega. Omega said himself that he can't live in the same universe where Incineroar's in Smash, so I guess he's gonna have to kill himself.
Omega's gonna go bankrupt from having to pay ticket fees to see so many Grinch movies.
I don't know.
His life is going to be a living hell for the next.
All right, see ya guys. Next podcast. where we watch all the Grinch movies and talk about all of them and rate them all from best to
So
worst.
good.
That's some cross promotion with our sister podcast.
The funny thing is, even without the new one, Frank could talk for fucking hours about the Grinch, I bet.
Listen, the Grinch is a good movie.
Look, Frank, tell me about Boris Karloff.
He's pretty good. You know, he sings the song.
Now, who exactly was a mean one?
Mr. Grinch was.
Oh, I see. Why is that?
I don't want to get into this right now.
Well, we can all agree that
this is a bad bit.
The Jim Carrey iteration of the Grinch
Is the
was
worst.
was not a good one.
Yeah, it's easily the worst. I can actually truly rank all iterations of the Grinch because I saw the Broadway musical when I was younger, so I can include that iteration in my ranking.
And was that better than the Spider-Man musical?
Well, no one, almost died in the Grinch musical, so I guess we have to give it points on that because a lot of people had, several concussions as stunt doubles for Spider-Man in the course of that musical.
Didn't someone get a piano dropped on them or something?
No,
You're thinking of Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, the Green Goblin plays a cardboard piano on top of the Chrysler Building.
Cardboard piano.
Yeah.
Is it a Labo piano?
It is Labo before Labo was a thing. And
Wait,
Bonesaw.
you guys say Labo?
What is it, Labo? I don't.
Labo.
What?
Yeah, it's Labo.
And Bonesaw was an an inflatable, almost like a pool float.
I now just remembered the fucking Labo costume in Smash.
Oh.
You get to play as a literal Labo Wojak in Smash, guys.
Why?
Plenty of time to incorporate that.
Oh, man. How
I actually
did
feel like
Nintendo
boycotting
fuck
this
up?
game. I feel like boycotting this game entirely because Rex will not be playable. Like, that was my guy for this game. That really makes me mad, actually.
You want him to
This
switch between
is
Pyra and
worse.
Mithra?
I mean,
This
obviously,
may be like one of the worst Nintendo Directs I've seen in a long time.
The only bright spot for me was Piranha Plant, and even he's fucking DLC.
Yeah, he's like
Collin, the help menu.
I just remember when Duck Hunt was revealed, like post game. I think it was like post release.
Well, it got leaked, but yeah.
Well, it got leaked, but like
It got its trailer post release.
you know what? That was fucking amazing.
That was a great trailer.
Duck Hunt is amazing. That's an amazing like joke character pick or like whatever.
They're not jokes. They're retro.
And now we get fucking Piranha Plant. Like that was the best you can think of.
There's nothing wrong with Piranha Plant.
I
Like
know.
I'm fine with that, but it's like after Incineroar. Ugh.
Give us
After
something to
everything.
cleanse our palate, you know?
I don't know. Like I said, I like just like all hype for this game has just gone down the fucking toilet. This is officially the Star Wars The Last Jedi of Smash games.
I wouldn't go that far since it still has all the stuff you previously liked. Again, there's a lot to like here already. It's just a matter of this whole direct is just why. Why did you do it? Why now? Why did
Okay,
Sony
let's-
do this?
Kornheiser.jpg.
I'll reiterate that this direct is the Last Jedi of directs.
There we go.
Hey,
Well-
it subverted our expectations, so.
It didn't take all
That's
your
a good
favorite
thing.
Smash characters outside and shoot them. There's that.
Well,
Mario
it did.
and Link didn't
It did.
vanish into the
It
ether.
did though at the end.
They all died. They all fucking
died.
died.
They did all die. You're right.
Yeah,
Everybody
and
died
Kirby-
except for Kirby. Kirby
Things that make
Kirby-
you go,
Kirby is confirmed the strongest character in the Nintendo universe, in the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
He's just fast.
All right, any final thoughts
Are
on
you
this
gonna
direct?
apologize?
I'm not going to apologize.
This is
Never
the no
ask me for
apologies
anything
edition.
ever again.
He's gonna regret that.
It's
There's still plenty more we have to get out of him, so. You better get to work on Smash 6 immediately.
It's like wringing blood from a stone.
Hey! I just want another
Hey.
Kid Icarus.
I mean, that would be fun.
I mean, I want the Kid Icarus on a platform that's not going to break my wrist.
Yeah.
Can Sakurai make a Kid Icarus game with controls so bad even he could not play it?
Kickerus.
Wait, what did I say?
No, you said Kid Icarus, but sometimes you've said Kickerus in the past.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. Someone has.
Kickerus. Thank God it's not Kid Icarus.
Okay.
On that note,
On that note,
Say goodbye, everyone.
thanks for listening to the Sonic Board podcast, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Edition.
I don't
It
even
wasn't
know
really
this game.
Ultimate.
Can't
The
put
Sonic
enough
Board
quotes.
podcast is going to outlive the Sonic Board.
It already has. All right, say goodbye, everyone.
good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good morning.